In the Saints Row series, a lot of people like the different games. Some people think Saints Row 1 is the best, some people think Saints Row 2 is the best, some people think Saints Row 3 is the best, and then somehow people think 4 is the best. Don't ask me how, I don't know. My favourite is 2, and I think it's the majority favourite of everyone, pretty much. From my logic, and from what I've heard from people who like Saints Row, if you played 1, 2, 3, and 4, you like 2 the most. The only time I've heard people say they don't like 2 is because of the graphics, because they're like younger or a newer fan to the series, which I can get makes sense. But today I want to just like talk about why Saints Row 2 is such a good game, why that game specifically changed how I looked at the entire series, and just give off the good points. No negative like connotations of any of the other games, they're all great, I like them all, but I want to talk about why Saints Row 2 specifically is the shining one for me. So, let's get into it. So I'm going to start this video off by talking about something I like to call the mesh, and that's completely made up, by the way. But the mesh is two things being put together that makes the game perfect, and that is comedy and seriousness. Throughout Saints Row, there's this perfect blend of just these two assets that make the game amazing. There is the comedy assets of, like, you know, when you are there with Pierce and you all mock him and make fun of him. And then there's the even better assets of the, like, whole revenge story against Julius. They flow together great, and they make the game, like, so immersive and, like, almost realistic. Not that Saints Row has ever been realistic. It obviously isn't. You can't gun down 1 million people and shoot down attack helicopters every day and not die. But the point I'm making is it adds this bit of, like, friendly banter between, like, the Saints and makes it just feel... I don't know what to call it, really. It just makes it feel a bit more, like, relatable. Like, comedy relatable. Like, there's that one scene where Gat, Pierce, and the boss are sitting there and talking about how to get into the casino. And then, like, Gat just goes, why don't we just shoot all the motherfuckers in the way and get the money? And it's pretty funny because Pierce is there like, what the fuck? It's just a really good, like, mesh and mold of these two things. And... we're going to get into both of them specifically on their own later, but I want to just talk about why I think that little mesh makes the game amazing. And of course, to start off with that, we're going to talk about the comedy side. Now, the comedy side is very funny. It's very much my type of humour, which is dumb humour, pretty much. Humour that just has, like, funny one-liners, or, like, the build-up to a joke and then a very funny execution. Like, the points that stick out to me are... I'll play the scene now. There's one where, like, the boss is really stoned, and he fucking says to Mr. Sunshine... like, I don't give a fuck how ugly you are or some shit. And it just, like, it makes me laugh still to this day when playing the game. Like, that's really good when you can play a game over and over again for so many years and, like, the humour still holds up. It's just really good. And next I want to go on to the revenge. The revenge aspect is not really revenge. That's, like, its own thing. It's more the, like, seriousness of the game. Because it's very split. And the seriousness makes the game, like... the Julius mission, I'm not going to spoil it for anyone who hasn't played it. If you haven't played Saints Row 2, though, you're probably on the wrong video. But buy it. But there's the Julius mission, which, like, is a whole tale of revenge and Troy and everything. Which I want to do a video on Troy, by the way. So that might happen soon. But the whole, like, tale of revenge towards Julius and how he, like, betrayed the Saints is so cool. I think, and the mission and the ending, I'll play the ending for you right now. So, spoiler alert, skip, like, 30 seconds in the video. Or I'll put the number on screen how many you need to skip to get past it. But here's the, like, clip.
Oh, I've learned that being in charge is better than being a bitch who keeps his mouth shut and does what he's told. Your time's over, old man.
What's happened to you?
I woke up.
You owe me, player. If it wasn't for me, you would have died on that street corner.
If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have been in a goddamn coma.
But I guess that makes us even.
Not really.
And it's just great. It's just a really cool, like... scene. It's just really good, and I think it, like, illustrates that Saints Row's not just the kid version of GTA. It has its cold moments. Another one that sticks out to me is when Johnny Gat's there with that, like, kid from the Ronin in the gravesite. I'll play it again here. But he's in the gravesite with, like, the Ronin guy, and he just, like, destroys him. It's ridiculous, and I think it makes the game amazing and really fun to play, and, like, you can get invested in it, you know what I mean? You root for the Saints, and then they get their revenge, they win stuff, and it's just great. Another one, the Jessica scene with the Brotherhood, another crazy-ass scene. But next I want to talk about the activities, because a game's great, like the main story, it's great. We all know this. It wouldn't be praised as high as it was if it was a bad story. But what makes Saints Row special, at least 2, is the activity. Because after Saints Row the 3rd, I know I said I wasn't going to bash any games, but after Saints Row 3, as good as that story is, you're done. You just drive around, you buy stuff, you get more money. That's pretty much the game. Whereas in Saints Row 2, There's so many activities you can do, like fuzz, like trailblazing, like the Fight Club, stuff that never made a return, which really sucks because it was what made Saints Row 2 so good. It was what made it like praised so highly, and then it was just left out of the future games. Like, I would kill for Fight Club to come back, and I know the Killbane thing was happening and there's technically the fight there, but that's not Fight Club. I want Fight Club back. I want Trailblazing. I'm not sure if that's in the new ones, to be honest. I don't really do the activities because they're just part of the main missions. I want the Heli Assault thing. I think that's in 3, but I'm not sure if it's in 4. And then I also want stuff like, Fuzz. Fuzz was the best one. And it was already underdeveloped in Saints Row 2. But it was that good that it's the best activity in the game by far. So imagine if that was like built upon instead of just like left out. Now, I know there's a reason. Apparently they spoke about why that was never in Saints Row 3, but I can't remember why it was. Apparently something to do with like just the way the game felt. But either way, they should have incorporated it. But that's what made Saints Row 2 so good. They did incorporate it. They innovated beyond belief, and I think that's like what made the game so good. I can't think of the other activities. I know there's lots though. There's lots of activities that are just really good. Stuff like streaking, for example. I know that's in 3, but like it was just better in 2. Everything just seemed better in 2, and then 3, 4, and even 1 seemed watered down. Now 1 has the excuse of it being the last game, but 3 and 4 has no excuse. And then there's Gat, which we don't talk about. Now, the characters is a big point in Saints Row 2. I think it's what also makes the game, along with the amazing missions and quests. Now, there's a whole segment still to go after this, but I'm going to spend a short time talking about the characters, because I could talk about all of them individually for long. Gat's more badass, Pierce is more funny, Shaundi's the funniest like stoner person in the world who we love. You got people like Julius, who plays like this the protagonist of Julius is so good. And then there's like all the gang leaders, like I don't know all the names, please excuse me. There's the one from the Ronin. The boy, I think, is a lot better than the old man, though. I liked the younger person more than the old guy. You got the guy who kills Aisha. He's epic. You got Mullet guy from the Brotherhood. Sorry, I forgot his name. Miro or something like that. Miro. I'm so bad at this. And then there's the not the Luchadors. What the fuck? What's the other one? Oh my god. The Sons of Sandy, you got Mr. Sunshine, and then the General. How did I forget that for a second? But either way, the characters are so good. Even the villains. You love the villains because of how good they are. You know what I mean? And I think that's really good. But I don't want to talk too much because the next bit's going to take a while to talk about. So, yeah. Now, this is the segment I'm going to spend the most time talking on. It's about the maps. If you don't want to hear about it, you can totally click off because you've probably all heard it before. But to the people who haven't, Saints Row 2's map is just amazing. It is so much better. I think it is the best open world map I've ever played. In that sort of environment, obviously I'm not talking like compared to Skyrim, but in like the like open world GTA style, I know that's not what it is, but GTA style map, it is easily the best one I've played compared with mainly like San Andreas / Los Santos, perhaps. But it's just amazing, like the variety in the characters you see around. You see skateboarders, you see pensioners, you see homeless people, you see these rich people in suits, you see like stoners, you see like hillbilly. It's crazy the variety of characters that are just around. And then there's the monuments. You've got like the bowling pin thing. You've got the museum, the dome, where else is there? There's tons of places, I'm trying to say. And then you got the fucking island off to the side. There's like a whole police like Alcatraz style island, which is even cooler. You go over there after breaking out like 5 missions later in one of the gang storylines, and you go back and you like set up a bomb that's even cool. It's just a really cool map to go around and explore. Like, that's the good thing about Saints Row 2. Once the story's done, there's still so much to do. And then you got the Easter eggs as well. You got that whole like island thing with the bunny. I forgot the name of the bunny. I know it has one. Where you follow the little like arrows and then a big bunny arises out of the water. I'll probably put it in the video if I can. It's really cool. Like, they didn't hold anything back. The map was huge. And compared to Steelport, it's very like just so vast compared to Steelport. Steelport seems so boring compared to Saints Row 2. Not that Steelport's bad, but it's just a bit sucky sometimes to just be driving around the same place. It feels, because in Steelport it feels like every street could be in the same location on the map. If you showed me a screenshot of you driving down a street in Steelport, I couldn't tell you where in the map it was. Whereas in like Saints Row 2, you could send me a screenshot of your character, and just from looking at the buildings, I could narrow you down to a little like district, pretty much, which I think is really cool. And then you got all like the buildings too that like you recognize, like the police station. You can go in and find the hidden mission for Julius, like iconic shit. You know what I mean? It's all just really cool. And then also the way the map plays is also really good. Like, Saints Row 2's map is so boring. I know not 2, sorry. Saints Row 3's map is so boring. I don't want to keep bashing the third because it's one of my favourite games. It's the second favourite Saints Row. So, I don't want to bash it too hard. But I feel like it's just so boring to go around sometimes. Like, you can have fun in it, obviously, but besides, like, just killing a bunch of people and getting a high notoriety and driving around, there's not much to do now. Graphically, I understand the map is ugly. That is not something I'm completely unaware of. The game is a lot uglier than the third. I wish the second had the third's graphic style, I almost would say, possibly. But I still think the map's so good that it just blows the third out of the water map-wise. Also, the way stunt jumps are, like, infused as well into the map instead of, like, just being blatant ramps is a lot better. There's a lot of annoying stuff as well about the third that I really didn't like going around finding the sex dolls. Why is that the collectible? Why is there just a sex... No one wants sex dolls around the map, really. You want to go around and you want to collect, like, the CDs were cool, where you'd unlock a new song. You know, collectibles that actually reward you with something besides just money and respect. It's really cool. And I think that Saints Row 2 just does the whole open world gangster style map just better in every single way. I know I said that the map was going to be the last thing I speak about, but I also want to just talk about the style of the game. Now, I'm not going to say that Saints Row 2's style of the game is leagues above Saints Row 3's, because they're just different. They're not, there's nothing good or bad about them. They're just objectively different. Saints Row 2 goes for the blend of comedy and, like, seriousness, whereas Saints Row 3 just turns the notch straight up to to comedy, and then Saints Row 1 keeps it as serious. Like, that's just where the games vary. Now, while Saints Row 2's is my favourite, like, mix in between, I can see why people will prefer the third, and I can see why people might prefer the first to it, but I think Saints Row 2 pulls it off very well. And if I ever do one of these about Saints Row 3, because there's a lot of stuff in Saints Row 3 that's just better than 2 as well, so if I ever do one of these about the third, I'll talk about it there. But I think that Saints Row 2's, like, style of, like, the mesh again, the little thing of, like, blending, I think that pulls off really well. I don't know how to describe Saints Row 2, but it just feels like it's the perfect balance for people who like Saints Row 1, but want it to be a bit more funny and relatable. Whereas, like, Saints Row 3, I feel like it tried overly hard to be relatable, and it was a good game, like I said, but I just feel like 2 had the perfect balance, and that also went into stuff like the weapons you use. There's no, like, crazy weapons like Saints Row 3, you know what I mean? You're not going to walk out, open up a Predator missile laptop and blast one at yourself, or in Saints Row 4 where it's even crazier, where you're blasting aliens up to space. Now, I can see why everyone has their own, like, opinion on which one's their favourite, but Saints Row 2 is my favourite because it's grounded in realism with these funny, unrealistic moments, and I think it just makes the game great. But that's going to end off the video. That's why I think Saints Row 2 is the best Saints Row. There's probably some more reasons I'm forgetting. I know there's stuff like customization, which is definitely a huge thing. Customization made the game, and Saints Row 3 and 4 were lacking. There's stuff like the cars, which I think were improved in the games. The newer game, sorry. So there's lots of, like, stuff I can't really talk about because I don't want the video to be too long. But in other words, Saints Row 2 is my favourite because I feel like it's just a better game. There's not many areas that Saints Row 2 lacks where the others can pick up in. You know what I mean? Either the whole series lacks in the area, or Saints Row 2 does it best. Is pretty much where I've got with Saints Row 2. But thank you all for watching. I'm going to be doing one of these about the third, because there's a lot of stuff in the third I really like over 2, because those 2 are my favourites, and I'm going to trash the third in this one, because I'm talking about why it's so bad compared to this game, and then in the third I'll be like, Saints Row 2 sucks at this, and third does it better. So, look out for that video. Thank you all for watching again, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Goodbye.
No, I'm good here.
You sure?
Oh, yeah.
You know, there could be some more guys looking for you.
You could take him, right?
Probably not.
Yeah, that's good.
Fucking lightweights.